Hey there, have you ever stopped to consider the incredible power of your own thoughts? It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, constantly bombarded by external stimuli. But what if you took a moment, just a few days even, to intentionally shift your internal dialogue? Imagine a scenario where for 3 whole days you consciously choose to speak to yourself with positivity, encouragement, and unwavering self-love. Sounds intriguing, doesn't it? Think about it. For 72 hours, you decide to silence the inner critic, to banish negative feedback, worries, and self-imposed limitations. Instead, you flood your mind with affirmations, with words that uplift your spirit, ignite your confidence, and remind you of your inherent worth. Are you brave enough to embark on this journey of self-discovery? Are you willing to challenge the ingrained patterns of negative self-talk that may have been holding you back for far too long? The things you say to yourself, the narratives you create within the confines of your own mind, have a profound impact on your reality. Over the next 3 days, those internal dialogues will begin to reshape your mindset, your very being, and most importantly, the trajectory of your life. This is because when you cultivate a positive relationship with yourself, when you speak to yourself with kindness and belief, you open the door to a world of possibilities. You invite abundance, success, and a deep sense of inner peace into your experience. Here is a task, a challenge designed to transform your thinking, to ignite a positive shift within you. I urge you to read all the way to the end, to fully immerse yourself in these powerful Stoic lessons, if you truly desire to witness a significant change in your life. The transformation begins today with the words you choose to speak to yourself. But before we delve into the specifics, I want you to make a promise, a commitment to embrace change. Right here, right now, in the comments section below. Declare to the world, "Today I become my best self." Let that statement serve as the first step towards a new life, a new mindset, a new you. Your first affirmation, the initial stride towards a new life and a renewed mindset, will be, "I am Stoic." This statement transcends mere words. It's a pledge, a dedication to personal growth and transformation. Embrace it, internalize it, and prepare yourself for a profound shift in your life's journey. This initial change begins with a focused approach, dedicating 3 consecutive days to this transformative practice. 3 days of unwavering focus on a single objective is the catalyst for genuine change. It's the deliberate practice required to initiate the process of altering your mindset and reprogramming your brain. It's not simply about wishing for something different. It's about cultivating a firm belief in your ability to shape your future. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely stated, "Growth is caused by hard work and self-discipline, not by chance." Reflect on your deepest desires for 30 days, and you will lay the groundwork for real and lasting change. The morning, afternoon, and evening are particularly potent times for this practice. During these periods, the brain exhibits heightened receptivity to new ideas. These times are not arbitrary. They are organic windows when the brain and nerves are more open to taking in information. Upon waking in the morning, your mind is less susceptible to external distractions and more receptive to internal change. The connection between thought and behavior is particularly strong in the afternoon, when the body is active and engaged. Before sleep at night, your brain enters a deep state of contemplation, where your thoughts are more deeply imprinted in your memory. Marcus Aurelius incorporated this practice into his daily routine, reflecting on the day's events and preparing himself for the challenges of the next. Affirmations will resonate more deeply within your brain if you repeat them consistently during these crucial times. It's not merely about the words themselves, it's also about the intensity of your feelings, the conviction behind your statements. Simply stating, "I am disciplined," is not enough. You must embody it, feel it, visualize it, and live it with unwavering conviction. The Stoics didn't just preach virtue, they exemplified it in their actions. Repetition is the key, the most effective way to transform a thought into a belief and ultimately into reality. Upon waking, place your hand on your heart and recite mantras that reinforce the identity you aspire to cultivate. Focus your energy on building the qualities you desire, rather than dwelling on what you lack. Instead of saying, "I want to be more disciplined," affirm, "I am disciplined." Similarly, instead of, "I want to be more confident," declare, "I fully trust myself." Your brain doesn't differentiate between true and false thoughts. Therefore, the more you contemplate and believe these mantras, the more rapidly they will manifest in your life. Seneca astutely observed, "Luck is what happens when you are ready and the chance comes along." The way you think in the afternoon is the initial step in preparing yourself for those opportunities. Engaging your body can further enhance the impact of your mantras. Take a brisk walk, practice deep breathing, and feel the energy of transformation coursing through your being. Don't simply recite the mantras. Connect them to your actions, embody them in your daily life. The Stoics understood that actions, not words, are the true measure of virtue. You are shaping your character with every step you take, every choice you make, and every moment you choose to act rather than procrastinate. You are defined by your consistent actions, not by mere declarations. Before drifting off to sleep, reflect on your accomplishments throughout the day and create a list of mantras for the following day. Don't allow fears and negative thoughts to dominate your mind. The final thoughts you entertain before sleep are processed during your slumber and can influence your waking state. Every night, Marcus Aurelius contemplated how he could improve the following day, preparing himself to face it with greater wisdom and resilience. As you consistently apply this concept, a gradual shift will occur in your focus and mindset. Dedicating 3 days to a single objective is sufficient to initiate a tangible difference. This isn't due to some mystical force, but because deliberate and consistent action transforms into a habit. Once a habit is established, it becomes an integral part of your being. Epictetus stated, "Being good is not something you do, it's something you are." You will begin to evolve into the person you aspire to be by taking control of your thoughts and focusing on your desires. This isn't merely a brief exercise, it's the inception of a new mindset. Therefore, don't underestimate the power of these 3 days. Don't wait until you feel ready to begin. If you repeat something often enough, your brain will accept it as truth. Don't allow doubts to cloud your thoughts. Your life is a reflection of the ideas you nurture within it. If you transform your mind, the circumstances of your life will inevitably follow suit. Secondly, the way you speak to yourself shapes your world. The architect of your reality is the voice within your head. Each thought you consistently entertain is a brick in the foundation of your life. Your daily experiences will mirror the questions, complaints, and excuses that you consistently direct towards yourself. You will initiate a transformation in your behavior and your perception of the world by cultivating purposeful and focused self-talk. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "The quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our lives." You cannot expect to achieve greatness if you consistently subject yourself to negative self-talk. Your body responds physiologically to every thought you have. It's an undeniable truth that your thoughts influence your feelings, which in turn influence your actions. If you persistently tell yourself that you are inadequate, your brain will reinforce that message until it becomes your reality. The mind seeks confirmation of its beliefs, and if you provide it with negative thoughts, they will shape every aspect of your experience. Epictetus taught, "What happens to us doesn't affect us, but how we think about it." Every challenge will seem insurmountable if you perceive it as such. You will surrender before you even attempt to overcome it. The power of self-talk manifests in everyday life. When you awaken in the morning and think, "Today is going to be a difficult day," your brain initiates the process of worry even before anything negative has occurred. Your mood will decline, your body will tense up, and your ability to concentrate will be impaired. This isn't magic, it's simply the way our minds function. Your mind prepares for what it anticipates. Conversely, the same principle applies when you awaken and tell yourself, "Today is a day filled with opportunities." Your brain will begin to generate positive feelings. You'll be more receptive and confident in your actions. The Stoics lived by this principle every day. Marcus Aurelius penned his Meditations to reinforce his beliefs and remind himself of the life he aspired to live. He didn't allow his thoughts to wander aimlessly. He took control of his narrative. Change the way you speak to yourself as well. Don't allow your default thoughts to dictate your emotions. Every negative thought should be questioned. Ask yourself, is this truly accurate, or is it merely a fleeting impression? In most cases, you'll discover that it's simply a habit, not an immutable truth. You must train your mind to guide you, rather than allowing it to control you. Reciting mantras is insufficient. You must embody them, believe them, and feel them. You will begin to act in alignment with your aspirations if you consistently affirm, "I am ready for success. I face every challenge with determination. My mind is strong and resilient." You should not allow your thoughts to weaken you. Instead, they should be your most potent tool. Seneca cautioned, "A mind that tortures itself is the worst thing that can happen." Do not allow yours to engage in such self-inflicted torment. When you encounter an obstacle, don't tell yourself, "I can't do this." Instead, affirm, "I can learn to do this." If you experience a setback, don't declare, "I failed." Instead, declare, "This is a lesson for me to improve." A slight shift in wording can make a significant difference in your ability to accomplish tasks. The conversation you have with yourself can be either your greatest obstacle or your greatest asset. It's your choice to utilize it for self-empowerment or self-sabotage. Thoughts are more than just thoughts. They are commands that your brain obeys. You can instruct it to be weak, and it will respond with fear. If you instruct it to be confident and resolute, it will fulfill your command. You cannot continue to engage in self-talk that hinders your progress. Speak to yourself as you would to a cherished friend or family member whom you want to see succeed. Your greatest teacher, guide, and motivator will be yourself. Every day, you have the power to choose how you speak to yourself, and that choice will shape the rest of your life. You cannot alter the external circumstances that occur around you, but you can transform the narrative you create within yourself. And in doing so, you will gradually transform not only your thinking, but also your life. Thirdly, your brain cannot distinguish between thought and reality. Your brain cannot differentiate between what you imagine is occurring and what is actually occurring. It perceives thoughts as more than just ideas. They are events that can elicit the same physiological and emotional responses as real experiences. If you consistently visualize failure, fear, or limitations, your mind will react as if you were genuinely experiencing them, which can lead to stress and anxiety. You can train your brain to embody success, discipline, and strength, and it will begin to behave as if you already possess those qualities. The Stoics understood this principle well when they declared, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." If you can control your thoughts, you can control your future. Neuroscience research has demonstrated that the same regions of the brain are activated when you imagine something and when you actually experience it. It's not merely a figure of speech. Your body will respond in the same way as if you were genuinely experiencing something if you visualize it with sufficient detail. This is why cultivating thoughts of fear or doubt can cause you to sweat, tense your muscles, or even feel paralyzed. Your brain perceives the danger as real, even if it isn't. According to Epictetus, what bothers people is not what happens to them, but what they think about it. Their thought processes determine their perception of reality. For decades, Olympic athletes have leveraged this concept to their advantage. It has been proven that they can enhance their performance simply by vividly visualizing their practice without physically moving. They train the same neural pathways in their brains as if they were actually competing. They are not deceiving themselves. They are preparing their minds and bodies to excel when the moment arrives. This principle applies to every aspect of life. Because you perceive yourself as focused, strong, and effective, you will begin to behave in ways that align with that self-image. Conversely, if you perceive yourself as weak or incapable, your brain will reinforce that perception. Cultivating a positive mindset is as crucial as maintaining physical fitness. It's not enough to simply tell yourself that you desire change. You must vividly imagine the desired outcome. It's not enough to merely think about achieving success. You must feel it and experience it in your mind as clearly as possible. Consider how someone who embodies discipline would act if you aspire to cultivate greater discipline. Visualize yourself confronting your fears with courage. This will aid you in overcoming them. This isn't just a pastime, it's a method for transforming your thoughts and reactions to life's experiences. Dedicate a few minutes each day before engaging in other activities to visualizing yourself achieving your goals. This time, make it tangible, not just a wish. Imagine how you would feel, what you would be doing, and how you would behave when you are confident in your abilities. Feel the joy of reaching that point. Your mind will begin to associate your ideas and actions with the visualization. If you train it to perceive them as real, you will gain control over your mind rather than external events. Marcus Aurelius stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This strength originates from your thoughts. It's not about fabricating more illusions or fantasies, it's about training your mind. Your brain will follow the instructions you provide it. If you focus on achieving victory and improvement, you will train your mind for success. Conversely, if you allow fear, doubt, and negative thoughts to dominate your thinking, you will train your mind to anticipate failure before you even attempt to succeed. Seneca observed, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This is true because frequently what prevents us from progressing is our fear of failure, not actual failure. You can transform your life if you transform your thinking before the world imposes its narrative upon you. Take charge of your mind. Transform your self-perception first if you aspire to transform your life. Contemplate your success. Envision the life you desire before it manifests. In this way, when the time comes to act, your brain will be prepared to execute what it has been practicing. Individuals who possess the ability to mentally prepare themselves for success before it occurs are the ones who ultimately attain their goals. It's not a matter of luck or skill. The difference lies in the thoughts they cultivate within themselves. Fourthly, most people live their lives without conscious awareness. The majority of individuals navigate life on autopilot, thinking and acting in repetitive patterns, and consequently, achieving the same outcomes. They fail to recognize that their lives remain stagnant because their minds are trapped in the same unhelpful habits. Marcus Aurelius stated, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If you consistently think, feel, and act in the same manner, your future will resemble your past. If you desire change, you must transform your thinking." On average, people experience between 60,000 and 70,000 thoughts per day. It's alarming to consider that 90% of those thoughts are the same ones we had the previous day. Repetition shapes character, and character is difficult to change. It's akin to repeatedly telling ourselves a story and eventually accepting it as truth. However, Epictetus demonstrated that what truly matters is not what happens to us, but how we perceive it. If you consistently perceive things in the same way and hold the same beliefs, you will remain confined to a limited version of yourself. If someone repeatedly tells themselves, "I'm not good at business," every choice they make will reinforce that belief. They will avoid risks and opportunities, and they will associate with individuals who validate their narrative. Their life will not be determined by fate, but by their self-perception. The mind seeks coherence, and if you hold a belief about yourself, it will strive to validate it. The same principle applies to every aspect of life. You will behave in a manner that reflects your self-perception. If you consistently tell yourself, "I can't speak in public," you will experience anxiety every time you have the opportunity to do so, not because it's an absolute truth, but because you have conditioned yourself to believe it over time. The crucial aspect is to recognize these repetitive thoughts and consciously choose alternative ones. You must deconstruct the narratives you've constructed for yourself if you aspire to change. When you experience a thought that hinders your progress, question it. Is this truly accurate, or is it merely a belief that I've repeated so often that I've come to accept it as truth? In most cases, you'll discover that beyond habit, there's no legitimate reason to cling to that belief. Your thoughts influence your experiences because your brain doesn't differentiate between thought and reality. You can begin to believe that you are dedicated, even if you initially doubt it. Over time, your mind will align with your words. This isn't magic, it's a scientific principle. The Stoics understood that controlling one's thoughts is the first step towards self-discipline. Seneca stated, "It is not that we have so little time, but that we lose so much. Letting thoughts that lead you nowhere waste your time is the worst thing you can do. You have allowed your mind to operate on autopilot for years, so regaining control won't be effortless. Instead of allowing your mind to wander aimlessly, choose a thought and focus on it. This will restore your control over your life. You shouldn't force yourself to think positively without reason. Instead, you should train yourself to discern which thoughts empower you and which ones weaken you. If you tell yourself, "This is too difficult," every time you encounter a problem, your brain will surrender before you even attempt to solve it. However, if you think, "How can I fix this?" you initiate a completely different response. If you desire to transform your life, you must first transform your thinking. If you consistently feed your mind the same old narratives, you cannot expect different results. The first step towards transformation is to train your mind. Marcus Aurelius applied this principle by recording his thoughts every morning. This practice helped him remember that he could choose a different way of thinking. Fifthly, your beliefs shape your future. People construct their lives based on their self-beliefs, not because they are inherently true, but because their minds are conditioned to act in accordance with them. Limiting thoughts are merely thoughts that are repeatedly entertained until they become ingrained habits. Epictetus stated, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." When you perceive a challenge as an insurmountable obstacle, it will paralyze you. However, when you perceive it as an opportunity for growth, your mind will generate solutions instead of excuses. The brain is capable of more than one way of thinking. Neuroplasticity is the concept that the brain's structure changes as we strengthen new connections between neurons. In other words, every time you choose a different thought, your mind undergoes a physical transformation. When Marcus Aurelius recorded his thoughts, he adhered to this principle by reinforcing ideas that cultivated his best self and enhanced his self-discipline. This wasn't accidental, it was deliberate mental training. When you cultivate positive thoughts about growth, you prepare your life to align with those ideas. If someone has repeatedly told themselves for years, "I'm bad with money," that belief becomes an integral part of their identity. Consequently, they will avoid investing in education, decline opportunities, and make choices that reinforce their narrative. It's not that fate has condemned them to financial lack, it's that their minds have trapped them in a cycle of self-sabotage. The same principle applies to every aspect of life. If you tell yourself, "I'm not disciplined," you won't follow through with your commitments. If you say, "I'm not good at that," you will avoid situations that could help you improve. The key is to consciously transform your beliefs. It's not about fabricating falsehoods, it's about selecting thoughts that empower you rather than those that hinder you. Instead of saying, "I'm not good with money," affirm, "I'm learning how to manage my money with intelligence and clarity." It might initially feel insincere, but your brain will gradually accept the new narrative, provided you consistently reinforce it. As long as you live, keep learning how to live, advised Seneca. You are not confined to an unchanging version of yourself. Every day, you have the opportunity to begin anew. Merely desiring change is insufficient to manifest it. You must be deliberate and persistent. Your brain's neural pathways strengthen with each thought you entertain. If you consistently cultivate thoughts of growth, they will become an ingrained part of your being over time. Self-discipline is not an innate trait. It's a quality cultivated through consistent mental training. Self-confidence is not a gift. It's a product of cultivating thoughts that foster positive self-perception. Who you are tomorrow will depend on what you think today. To shape the mind, the Stoics understood that it required the same diligent effort as the body. You wouldn't entrust your physical health to chance, so why entrust your mental health to random thoughts? Epictetus stated, "No man is free who is not master of himself." To become the master of yourself, you must first become aware of your self-narrative. Outdated beliefs will keep you trapped in a cycle of mediocrity if you allow them to govern your life. However, if you consciously choose which thoughts to entertain, you will be able to shape your future in alignment with your aspirations. Reprogramming your mind is an ongoing process. You cannot simply change a belief once. You must consistently reinforce it with your actions. If you affirm, "I am disciplined," then you must behave accordingly. You can't simply declare, "I can learn." You must actively engage in activities that facilitate learning. Those who achieve their goals are not fortunate. Those who remain stagnant are not unlucky. The distinction lies in the thoughts they cultivate before the world imposes its narrative upon them. Take charge of your mental training. Don't perpetuate negative thoughts simply because they are familiar. Every day presents an opportunity to cultivate new ideas and a mindset that propels you forward, rather than holding you back. You are not defined by your past. You are building your future. Ultimately, what you think, what you believe, and what you choose to embrace shapes who you become. Sixthly, the role of mornings in transformation is paramount. The initial words you utter upon waking are not mere sounds. They direct your mind. In the early morning, your brain is in a state of heightened receptivity, capable of absorbing your words as if they were being inscribed on a blank canvas. In his book Meditations, Marcus Aurelius stated that every day presents a new opportunity to live a virtuous life and act with strength and purpose. However, if your first action upon waking is to complain, your mind is already primed to focus on negativity. The Stoics were correct in asserting that the mind is more receptive to new ideas upon waking. During sleep, the brain cleanses and reorganizes itself, and upon waking, its pathways are primed for new learning. Individuals will be more attentive to your thoughts and words during these times than at any other. If you immediately tell your mind, "Today will be a difficult day," it will begin seeking evidence to support that assertion. However, you can train your brain to focus on solutions, opportunities, and growth by affirming, "Today is a day filled with possibilities." Life is not defined by external events, but by our perception of them. That's a fundamental principle the Stoics understood. You will cultivate a defeatist attitude throughout the day if you awaken with that mindset. However, if you awaken with the belief that you are capable of achieving anything, even challenges will transform into opportunities for growth. Epictetus taught that your reaction to events is more significant than the events themselves, and your reaction begins with the words you choose to speak upon waking. These messages are also received by the body. When you awaken and affirm, "I'm ready for this day," your body responds. Your breathing deepens, and your mind becomes more alert. However, if you sigh and declare, "Another day," your mood declines, your muscles tense, and everything seems more daunting than it is. Your self-talk reflects your approach to life. Begin each day with empowering affirmations, not empty words, but words that set your mind on a path of success and abundance. Seneca cautioned that life is not short, but we squander it by worrying about trivialities, and setting a positive intention at the start of the day is one of the most effective ways to maximize its potential. Don't wait for circumstances to be perfect before you cultivate a positive mindset. Construct the reality you desire to experience through your words. "Today I will move forward with discipline," you can affirm upon waking. This will fortify your resolve before challenges arise. Affirming, "Today I will seek opportunities," will train your brain to perceive possibilities you previously overlooked. It's not just about cultivating positivity, it's about conditioning your mind. Your destiny is shaped by the words you consistently speak with conviction. The morning is the most crucial time for transformation. While you cannot control everything that unfolds during the day, you can control your mindset, and the initial words you utter are the foundation of that choice. Marcus Aurelius utilized his daily writings to reinforce this principle, reminding himself that he could always live a virtuous life, regardless of external circumstances. Adopt the same practice. Don't use your first words in the morning to complain or make excuses. Speak with strength, drive, and the conviction that every day presents an opportunity to evolve into the person you aspire to be. Seventhly, every thought has a physiological effect on your body. Each thought is a message transmitted to your body through chemicals released by your brain. These chemicals are instructions that govern your feelings, actions, and even your health. Marcus Aurelius articulated it best. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If you consistently dwell on problems, stress, and negativity, your body will react as if you were in danger, releasing stress hormones that induce fatigue. However, if you train your mind to cultivate gratitude, discipline, and growth, your body will mirror your inner strength. What the Stoics understood through experience is now supported by scientific evidence. These stress hormones are released when you experience fear or anxiety. They cause muscle tension, elevate your heart rate, and activate a state of heightened alertness. The problem is that prolonged exposure to this state weakens the body. The mind perceives danger everywhere. The immune system becomes compromised, and health issues begin to manifest. Seneca cautioned, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He was correct, because most of our fears do not materialize, but the body experiences their effects as if they were real. Conversely, the hormones associated with happiness, such as dopamine and serotonin, are produced when you cultivate thoughts of gratitude and strength. These chemicals not only enhance your mood, but also boost your energy, strengthen your immune system, and improve your ability to cope with challenges. If you aspire to wealth, Epictetus advised, do not seek to acquire more things, but rather to acquire a greater appreciation for what you already have. Gratitude is more than just a positive thought. It alters your body's chemistry, promoting balance and calmness. If someone consistently harbors negative thoughts, their body responds by inducing fatigue, headaches, and shallow breathing. This is not coincidental. It's the result of a system in constant conflict with itself. You can train your mind to focus on solutions rather than problems, and to perceive the good in every day. This will provide your body with greater energy, focus, and endurance. What you choose to think about repeatedly determines whether your mind weakens you or empowers you. Cultivate a habit of reflecting on 3 things you are grateful for before sleep. Focus on the positive aspects of your life. It doesn't have to be significant. A conversation, a small step towards your goals, or simply being healthy could be sufficient. This practice not only calms your mind, but also prepares your body for restful sleep by releasing hormones that promote well-being. Marcus Aurelius reflected on his day every night, not to complain, but to learn from his experiences and cultivate greater strength. If you adopt this practice, you will observe a transformation in your body and mind. You possess the most powerful tool in the world, but you must learn to wield it effectively. Avoid allowing fear and worry to consume your thoughts. Pause and redirect your narrative every time you feel anxious. Does this thought empower me or weaken me? Replace it with a thought that serves you. You don't have to ignore the truth. You simply have to train your brain to respond with wisdom rather than fear. The mind directs the body. Your energy will surge if you cultivate thoughts of strength. Your body will maintain balance if you cultivate gratitude. You will take a significant step towards becoming your best self if you learn to control your thoughts rather than being controlled by them. Don't allow your mind to weaken you. Instead, utilize its power to transform you. Eighthly, releasing the past is essential for transformation. You cannot build a new reality while clinging to outdated feelings, ideas, and habits that hinder your progress. Marcus Aurelius stated, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." To transform your life, you don't have to change what happened. You have to change how you perceive it. Carrying the burden of past mistakes will cause you to repeat the same patterns. The brain is malleable and constantly evolving, but only if you provide it with new thoughts and experiences. Clinging to the past strengthens the same neural connections, conditioning your mind to remain trapped in a cycle. Neuroscience has shown that when you recall a memory, the same regions of your brain that initially processed it become active and stronger. This means that whenever you dwell on feelings of loss, failure, or betrayal, you are reinforcing them in your mind and body. Epictetus taught that we cannot change the events that occur, but we can change our perception of them. If you perceive the past as a burden, your mind will use it as an anchor to hold you back. If someone dwells on a past romantic disappointment, their mind will remain primed to experience similar pain. A part of their brain will always be prepared for the same narrative to unfold again. Regardless of new opportunities, they will attract challenging relationships, perceive signs of betrayal where none exist, and remain suspicious of everything. The reason is not that the present mirrors the past, but that their minds continue to operate on the same programs, causing their fears to manifest. Mental discipline involves releasing the past. You don't have to disregard it or pretend it never happened. You simply have to decide that it will no longer control you. Affirm to yourself, "I choose to liberate myself from the past and create a new reality." Every time a negative memory resurfaces, don't merely perceive it as a statement, embrace it as a promise. That's why you need to think and act in ways that align with the life you aspire to build, in order to provide your mind with new instructions. Stoicism teaches that our strength is not defined by our experiences, but by how we choose to respond to them. It is not what happens to us that affects us, but how we interpret it, stated Seneca. If you perceive the past as a prison, you will remain confined to it. However, if you perceive it as a lesson learned, you can release it and move forward. You are not defined by your mistakes, your flaws, or the pain inflicted upon you by others. From this moment forward, you are what you choose to be. You can only act in the present. You forfeit the potential of what could be if you remain fixated on what was. Focus on what you can do and what you possess in this moment. Stop repeatedly recounting the same parts of your story if you desire to change it. Today is a new day, but you will never write a new chapter if you only reread the same words. Transformation is not a singular event, it's a continuous choice. Do not allow the past to hold you back. Consistently remind yourself that you can let go, be present, and choose to remain in the moment. Every time a thought evokes past pain, remember that life isn't restraining you. You are the one holding yourself back. Release the past and choose to move forward. When you cease looking back, the path forward becomes clearer. Now, I'll provide you with some examples of affirmations you can incorporate into your daily routine to create a positive impact on your life. Watch the video below to see how simple daily mantras can transform your thoughts and emotions. Ninthly, I am in charge of my feelings. Feelings are a normal and universal human experience, but how we choose to manage them is what truly shapes our lives. This is a central tenet of Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes that our emotions should not dictate our actions. Rather, we should govern them. During challenging times, it's natural to feel annoyed, sad, or angry. What we can control is how we respond. Stoicism encourages us to acknowledge our emotions, name them, and recognize that they don't have to control us. The truth is that we possess the ability to choose how to respond. This Stoic principle is supported by scientific evidence. The capacity to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions is a key component of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is linked to increased resilience and success in life. Individuals with high emotional intelligence are more adaptable and better equipped to manage stress. Consequently, they excel in their relationships and achieve their goals. We can enhance our ability to remain calm and clear-headed, even amidst adversity, by consistently practicing emotional self-regulation. Imagine a scenario where someone is experiencing a difficult time at work. They might have had a disagreement with a colleague, or a crucial project might have encountered obstacles. That person might react impulsively if they haven't cultivated emotional control, allowing anger or frustration to cloud their judgment. However, if that person can acknowledge their emotions without being consumed by them, They will be able to take a step back and make a more considered decision. This is what the Stoics meant by living in accordance with reason. The key to preserving inner peace is not to suppress our emotions, but rather to make conscious decisions to achieve it. Consistent practice is essential. Meditation and deep breathing are two of the most effective methods for enhancing our ability to manage our emotions because they calm the mind and help us focus on what's truly important. These techniques help us process intense emotions more effectively. For example, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which counteracts the fight-or-flight response triggered by stress. Through consistent practice, we can become more adept at remaining calm and composed, regardless of the circumstances. Meditation, on the other hand, trains our brains to become more aware of the emotions and thoughts that arise within us. Instead of identifying with them, it teaches us to perceive them as fleeting events that we can observe without reacting. By cultivating mindfulness, we can manage our emotions with greater understanding and balance. Not only does this enhance our emotional control, but it also reduces our stress levels and improves our overall well-being. Always remember that you have the power to choose your response. Every time you experience a strong emotion, don't allow it to overwhelm you. Instead, take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. Acknowledge and accept your feelings, but don't allow them to dictate your actions. If you consistently practice this, you will notice a gradual improvement in your ability to manage challenging emotions. The capacity to manage your emotions is a sign of personal freedom. Don't allow other people or events to determine how you feel. You are the only one who can choose your response. 10thly, I'm strong enough to get through anything. Setbacks are not the end of the road. They are indicators that you are progressing. You can surrender every time life throws you a curveball, or you can cultivate resilience. Stoicism also teaches that we possess an indomitable spirit capable of weathering any storm. It's not the severity of the challenge that matters, it's how you choose to confront it. To grow, you must learn to utilize pain and failure as tools, rather than seeking to avoid them. Science supports this principle. The psychology of resilience demonstrates that individuals who endure hardship and emerge from it stronger are mentally and emotionally more adaptable. Individuals who experience frequent setbacks are the ones who ultimately improve, not those who avoid failure altogether. Your brain undergoes changes that enhance its ability to manage challenges in the future. When you encounter a problem and choose to address it rather than avoid it, every problem you overcome reinforces the belief that you are capable, that you can endure more than you thought, and that you possess an inner strength that only manifests during times of adversity. Imagine someone who unexpectedly loses their job. Initially, they experience fear, uncertainty, and even despair. However, they don't remain stagnant. Instead, they choose to take action. They begin searching for new opportunities, acquiring new skills, and adapting their approach to fit the new circumstances. The journey continues, and they discover a new path. They also realize that they are stronger than they perceived. They are no longer as afraid of change or the unknown, having proven their ability to navigate them and ultimately succeed. What initially appeared to be a problem transformed into the very catalyst that made them. What initially appeared to be a problem transformed into the very catalyst that made them stronger and more resilient. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy. It's not about pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about altering your perception of them. It's about recognizing that every obstacle presents an opportunity to cultivate inner strength and wisdom. Seneca stated, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Embrace the difficulties, don't run from them. To cultivate this mindset, Begin by acknowledging that you are not defined by your circumstances. You are defined by how you respond to them. Every time you encounter a setback, don't ask, "Why me?" Instead, ask, "What can I learn from this?" Every time you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself, "I am strong enough to get through anything." This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a deliberate choice to shift your focus from weakness to strength. Your brain is a powerful tool, capable of adapting and growing. When you consistently reinforce the belief that you are resilient, your brain will begin to seek out evidence to support that belief. You'll start to notice your own ability to overcome challenges, to bounce back from setbacks, and to emerge stronger than before. Don't wait for life to prove your strength. Prove it to yourself. Start by taking small steps, by facing your fears and overcoming your limitations. Every time you do, you're not just conquering a challenge, you're reinforcing the belief that you are capable of anything. Remember, the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. You are being forged in the challenges you face. 11thly, I choose to focus on solutions, not problems. The human mind has a natural tendency to dwell on problems, to analyze them, and to dissect them until they seem insurmountable. However, this focus on problems often leads to paralysis, to a sense of helplessness that prevents us from taking action. Stoicism teaches us to shift our focus from problems to solutions, to recognize that every problem contains the seeds of its own solution. This principle is supported by the psychology of problem solving. Individuals who are able to identify solutions are more likely to achieve their goals, to overcome obstacles, and to experience a sense of control over their lives. This isn't about ignoring problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about approaching them with a mindset of optimism and resourcefulness. Imagine a scenario where someone is facing a financial challenge. They could choose to dwell on their debt, to worry about their future, and to feel overwhelmed by their circumstances. However, they could also choose to focus on solutions, to create a budget, to seek out new income opportunities, and to take steps to improve their financial situation. The difference lies in their mindset. To cultivate this mindset, begin by practicing the art of reframing. Every time you encounter a problem, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, ask, "What can I do to solve this?" Every time you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself, there is always a solution. This isn't about denying reality. It's about choosing to focus on what you can control. You can't control the problems that life throws your way, but you can control how you respond to them. You can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to be a problem solver. Don't wait for solutions to magically appear. Actively seek them out. Brainstorm ideas, research options, and take action. Every step you take towards a solution reinforces the belief that you are capable of overcoming any challenge. Remember, the greatest inventions were born out of necessity. You are capable of creating your own solutions. 12thly, I am worthy of love and respect. Self-worth is not something that is earned or bestowed upon us by others. It is an inherent quality that resides within each and every one of us. Stoicism teaches us to recognize our own intrinsic value, to treat ourselves with kindness and compassion, and to reject the notion that we are somehow less than others. This principle is supported by the psychology of self-esteem. Individuals who have a strong sense of self-worth are more likely to have healthy relationships, to achieve their goals, and to experience a sense of fulfillment in their lives. This isn't about being arrogant or conceited. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of love and respect, just as you are. Imagine a scenario where someone is struggling with feelings of insecurity and self-doubt. They might compare themselves to others, criticize their own flaws, and feel unworthy of love and acceptance. However, they could also choose to cultivate a sense of self-compassion, to recognize their own strengths and accomplishments, and to affirm their own worthiness. The difference lies in their self-perception. To cultivate this mindset, begin by practicing self-affirmations. Every day, remind yourself, I am worthy of love and respect. Every time you feel insecure or doubtful, remind yourself, I am enough. This isn't about being narcissistic. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of your own love and respect. You can't expect others to love and respect you if you don't love and respect yourself. Don't wait for others to validate your worth. Validate it yourself. Treat yourself with kindness, compassion, and understanding. Every act of self-care reinforces the belief that you are worthy of love and respect. Remember, you are your own best friend. 13thly, I am grateful for the present moment. The present moment is the only moment that truly exists. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. Stoicism teaches us to appreciate the present moment, to find joy in the simple things, and to live each day to its fullest. This principle is supported by the psychology of mindfulness. Individuals who are mindful are more likely to experience happiness, reduce stress, and improve their overall well-being. This isn't about ignoring the past or the future. It's about choosing to focus on the present moment. Imagine a scenario where someone is constantly dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. They might miss out on the beauty of the present moment, the joy of spending time with loved ones, or the satisfaction of accomplishing a task. However, they could also choose to practice mindfulness, to focus on their breath, to appreciate the sights and sounds around them, and to savor the present moment. The difference lies in their attention. To cultivate this mindset, begin by practicing gratitude. Every day, take a few moments to appreciate the things you have, the people you love, and the experiences you are having. Every time you feel stressed or anxious, remind yourself to focus on the present moment. This isn't about being complacent. It's about choosing to appreciate the life you have. You can't change the past or control the future, but you can choose how you experience the present moment. Don't wait for the perfect moment to be happy. Create it. Find joy in the simple things, savor the experiences, and appreciate the people in your life. Every moment is a gift. Remember, life is happening now.